Dear Austin, it's May 6, 1853. Dear Austin, today seemed like Christmas on account of your letter arriving. Miss Amelia and I sat down together as she read it aloud. I especially liked the part about Reuben finding the rattlesnake in his boot and your sighting a grizzly bear. I closed my eyes when she read the part about your fishing on the lake. I could just picture the two of you netting the biggest catch of your lives. You sure were lucky to find Reuben on your way. Miss Amelia says he sounds like the kind of man a boy could learn a lot from. She hopes you learn some of his recipes. I told her you've got more on your mind than how to make an apple pie with what a claim to settle and grizzly bears to look out for. Sometimes I get so discouraged thinking about how the only way I ever get to see you is by closing my eyes. And I can't help wondering how different things would be if I had been able to come out to Oregon to join you like we planned. And to think that it's been 2 whole years since then. While I'll be 11 years old next month, near as old as you were when you left Pennsylvania with the wagon train. But you had better luck than me, Austin, and it didn't come down with the consumption. Miss Amelia still won't budge on the subject of me traveling now. She always quoting old Doc Satin, who says the consumption is nothing to fool with, and that I should wait until next spring afore I tax my strength. I keep telling Miss Amelia that I'm as strong as any boy I know, and should be out with you and Reuben in Oregon on Pa's claim. But she shakes her head and her face gets all wrinkly with worry, and then she says what she always says. Levi Ives, are you trying to give a body heart palpitations? How would I stand it, sitting here in Pennsylvania worrying about you and your lungs and your daredevil's ways out in the wilderness? When your ma died birthing you, I was at her side, and I promised her then that I'd look out for you. No, by goodness, you are going to stay right here with me until next spring when your lungs are stronger, and maybe by then you'll have grown out of some of them wild ways. I just rolled my eyes when she carries on like that. I don't mind growing out of my breeches or my shirts, but I don't intend on growing into some kind of sissy. Miss Amelia doesn't seem to understand that a boy's got to have some wildness in him if he's heading clear across the territories. I think about all the walking you did with the wagon train, and I've decided to get my legs in shape for my turn. Yesterday, I dared Willie Ehrlich and his cousins that Jupiter Possum and I could outrun them and the old man Grizzard's bull. So Jupiter and Possum are coming over, and we're going down to do some practice running out in the pasture before we take on the bull Saturday morning. Just how fast do you suppose a bull can run? I guess I'll find out soon enough. If he really gets going, we might light out of here and keep on running clear on out to Oregon. So if you see a cloud of dust, you'll know it's your brother and his two friends trying to steer clear of that old bull. Of course Miss Amelia doesn't know about the bull. I wouldn't want to get her heart all palpitated. So it's just a secret run. Most everything Jupiter Possum and I do winds up a secret. So we've stayed a club and we have a creed. It's a Daredevil's creed, and I can't really say more than that on account of its being secret. Thanks for sending that moon-faced button. Tell Reuben that Miss Amelia had to sew it onto a new coat for me as I've outgrown my old one. But be sure to tell him that as big as I grow, I won't ever outgrow his button. Your brother, Levi. P.S. You might remember how Possum is always catching frogs and toads down by his crick? Well, he has two new ones. One is a little toad he calls Hap, and the other is a big frog called Plug Ugly. Seems Possum's sister, Medea, took one look at him and declared him to be Plug Ugly, and the name just stuck. It's sort of like what happened to Possum. I finally learned how he got that nickname. When he was born, his older brother Tom said he looked like a little possum, and that's what everyone called him after that, expecting his ma, who insists on calling him Jonathan. Possum says that in the frog world, ugly is beautiful, and so Plug Ugly is real pleased with his new name.